All right, Steve. So let's take a look at your mechanics from your bullpen from the side. So first thing I notice off the bat, so up here, peak leg lift looks good. As you come down here, I really like this position here with the hands break, and then you keeping that back leg here. And then the biggest thing is getting to that hip. We could get into that hip a little bit more, and then you have that back hip joint right here. And your hips are getting squared to third base here. So this is a good spot right here. Moving forward here, oh yeah, your hips are closed too right here. So this is a really good spot. Right here is where you will start to, I'm going to talk lower half first, but you start to try to open this up here where our hips, you keep this back leg good and engage in the hip joint, but this front leg will start to open up here, and then you're kind of extending out. So when this happens, we're losing a little bit of force production in the back leg, and then this front hip opening up here, we're going to lose some impulse in our lower half. So as you see and pay attention to the foot, you'll start to land with heel first, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But if we're going to really be open like this, with your hips open up, you have to really sit into this back leg, and you have to really drive from your legs, which is, I see you more of a closed thrower with your lower half and being able to use that impulse, to drive your throw. So, this isn't necessarily completely wrong, but we have to get way more into the backside leg here if you're going to be a guy that's going to open up and drive. So I want to work on keeping your hips closed as long as possible and creating an impulse to where you're not going to land on your heel right here. Because now what happens is it will kind of just slowly, go into landing, and your hips will come through. But let's talk upper half here. So you kind of, with this, I do like how your upper half moves with your glove side, how you get it out, and then you reach in here, but we never recover with this shoulder angle here. So as your shoulders angles are up, that's fine. And as we come up, you can see how low your elbow comes. We're never able to get down, over, and through the ball. So with the glove side, having this right here and then being able to work this glove side down back into your ribs is going to raise this part and your upper body half up with your arm. And this kind of has to do with your lower body as well, how it's kind of working. It's kind of working from, downhill, uphill. So it has to work uphill. So that's going to cause, your hips to be angled this way, and then they never really get back down. So it's going to be hard to kind of stay through the ball and stay on top. And as you can see, your elbow here, and then a little bit flying open with that shoulder. And then the arm comes in low. From here, your elbow climbs up nice. But this is going to be a lot of arm. And you have some really good layback here, but this is basically just a lot of arm taking over. And that's basically what I get from your throw. And I'm going to make you a video tomorrow of what I want you to start working on initially with your mechanics, because your glove side stays good here, and then right here you can tell it's hard to see from this angle, but your elbow is going to immediately have to go that way and then down to compensate and get you back online. So it's going to go back and then down and then through here, and you're able to get back online here, but the issue is it's just not going to have a lot of power, and your arm has to take, you have to use your arm very heavily in this throw to compensate. So, biggest thing is I want you to really close off. So right here, like this position, try to ride this position as long as you can. Keep that front leg closed. Your hips are facing this. You're going to stay into this femur angle way longer, so your legs are going to feel way more stronger. Foot stays on the ground nice. So keep this position as long as you can. For me personally, I kind of want to raise your glove side arm a little bit better and keep more of a structure on it instead of kind of just swinging it up. You see how it kind of floats up and then, you know, comes down here. You just kind of just yank it here. And then that's why your elbow comes in so low. But I'll show you more in depth of what to do with the upper half. But lower half here, it's like once you get into this position very well, just ride this as long as you can. Literally just ride that as long as you can. That's all. But yeah, man, not bad overall. And I'll show you some good stuff to start playing around with.